We've seen quite a few move-based evolutions in Pokemon lately. Not that I'm complaining. They have some of the coolest designs for some reason, but many of them are their own exclusive moves, so what if we got some Pokemon and gave them some pre-existing moves to help them evolve? I think every design here double slaps in the highest order, so make sure you stick around till the end to see them all, and comment down below what Pokemon you'd give a move-based evolution to, and maybe I'll use it as inspo in a sequel video. Alright, first up we have our little coin gremlin Gimmighoul, and what happens if it learns Crunch? I should say that most, if not all of these Pokemon don't actually learn these moves, so they would have it added to their moveset. If you think that's cheating, well, I'm sorry, but Gimmighoul deserved this evolution, I reckon. Crunch gave me the great idea to make Gimmighoul meld with its chest, which I guess would be kind of horrific watching Gimmighoul give the Terminator thumbs up as it melds into molten gold, the greatest symbol of its greed. Now as the chest, it is a true classic JRPG mimic. I kept the chest pretty similar with a couple of little differences, so it could blend into the world of Paldea and surprise people who aren't paying attention. Specifically a large keyhole where its golden eye, no, not that one, peeks through, as well as more jagged, toothy appearance. I thought it'd be fitting that it'd keep similar arms to Goldango, just with a bit more of a longer appearance, as they're, both made of coinage, but this guy is split between two halves of the chest, making it a bit lopsided, and honestly would be so creepy dragging itself along, chasing after you, giving me Mario 64 piano vibes here. I named this one Gimme More, and honestly, just a big brain name. Give me more, it's big more. I've outdone myself. Gimme More, the Mimic Pokemon, a Ghost and Steel type. Evolves from Gimmighoul after collecting 999 coins while knowing Crunch. Some Gimmighoul become so ravenous for coin that they meld with their chest. All the gold collected becomes long arms made for grasping at more gold. They lie in wait till someone tries to open it, then they strike, biting down on the hands or wrists and extracting any gold jewelry in the process. While the attack is painful, no limbs are removed in the process. Gimme More have the abilities Strong Jaw and Gluttony. So let's go to something a bit less tragic with Electrike and learning a similar doggy-based move in that of Excel Rock, only normally learned by the Lycanroc line. Giving it the rock type, I immediately thought of the magnetic rocks in Chargestone Cave, and I guess in the Blueberry Academy. Some kind of magnetic rock dog. Sounds like an olden day rock song, but also it made me think of magnetic levitation trains, or maglevs, and the idea of a levitating dog was just hilarious to me. I wanted to keep that sort of strange, disconnected dog feeling that the Electrike line has. Not quite as dog-like as the Yampa line, and keep it a little monstrous. And very inorganic feeling, as if it, locks itself up in place when it glides along at its maglev feet. Honestly, part of the reason why I wanted to do this was because I had the idea of this thing's animations in game where the rocks just around its neck would spin around. I'm just a big old sucker for those extra little tidbits of animations on a Pokemon. I think Magral here would also have an amazing Mega that would probably look similar to Manetrix, but instead of the big lightning hair, it would just be rocks. Magral, the Hover Pokemon, an Electric and Rock type. Evolves from Electrike at level 26 while knowing Excel Rock. Magral's body grows electrically charged magnetic stones around their neck and feet to give them the power to levitate. When in combat, the stones around their neck spin around. When fully engrossed in a battle, they spin so fast electricity crackles around the whole battlefield. Similar stones have been found within Unova's Chargestone Caverns. Magral have the abilities Static and Levitate. Of course, these can't all be serious, and this one is super silly. What happens when your Clang learns Explosion and uses it in battle? Well, now you're just gonna have to live with your sins as it evolves. I just wanted this kind of comedic Pokemon that plays off the already established idea of Clink, adding more gears to its body as it evolves. But now it goes Clink, Clang, Clonk, and the Pokemon is literally just an old exploded pile of gears on the ground. Keeping all the same design motifs and looks at the rest of the line, a very disgruntled Clink gear sits half destroyed on its pile, which is kind of its body, but also is just the scrapyard of magnetically controlled half gears and whatnot. I love the idea of its animations having it sort of recombine itself to appear like Kling Clang for a moment, before just falling apart again. I love myself a real failure of a Pokemon sometimes. Because when it evolves against a dark type, I wanted to give it a bit of edge and nastiness, so I added all these rust spots all over it. Really shows that it's barely holding itself together in life. Man, same Clunk. He's just like me, for real, for real. Clunk, the rusted Pokemon, a steel and dark type, evolves from Clang after using Explosion. Despite its sorry state, Clunk still thrives. Only the smallest gear still has true sentience, and the rest of the gears are carried around via its magnetic abilities. To make itself look more intimidating, Clunk will make itself look like Steelix and other large Pokemon, wrapping itself around an enemy and grinding them up, spinning their gears before returning back to a regular Clunk pile. Clunk have the abilities Poison Point and Clear Body. Continuing the silliness, we have Vanillish, which everyone already loves, I'm sure, and its new evolution once it learns Salt Cure. Bet you can guess where this is going. I love salted caramel, a top tier flavor that I never thought I'd like, so I wanted to make this weird representation of that, taking some pages out of the Knackley line. We keep a general idea and shape of the Vanillite lime, but instead of having it in an ice cone, it now sits in a rock bucket shape. I don't know, some kind of share box, I'd say. Just made it look a bit like a wafer cone as well. Also, all those ice crystals now become little blocks of salt. You probably wouldn't eat them, but maybe they can grind them up and use Salt Cure with that. Okay, I need to come out clean and say it before I get all the comments. I made the little dollop on this one's head, trying to make it look vaguely French, because that was the origins of salted caramel. But when I finished the design with the colors and all, I came to the realization that it just looked like the poop emoji. And while I'm sure many agree that's fitting for a Pokemon of this line, I did end up changing it. Who knew that all that was needed was to shift the colors and it wouldn't look so unfortunate? So yes, I own up to making a Poopmon, then changing it. Of course, I still really did like the idea of it being like that, even when it was a poop emoji, so now it's a shiny and no one can stop me. And hey, we can always change its name to Caramello and have a convergent form of it. Caramello, the salted Pokemon, an ice and rock type. Caramello evolves from Vanillish at level 47 while knowing Salt Cure. The build-up of salt on Vanillish causes this curious evolution. Large salt crystals now grow upon their body. Pokemon flock around Caramello for these crystals and their rich, delicious, snowy body. Caramello provide assistance with the salt on their body, placing it into hot springs for Pokemon to help ease their muscles. Caramello stays away, however. Caramello have the abilities Purifying Salt and Ice Body. Alright, let's go to one a little more serious. This time we're getting Arbok and teaching it the Dragon Cheer move. If it wasn't obvious by what Pokemon already evolves using Dragon Cheer with Dipplin, I'm making a Hydra Arbok, which could have gone many different ways, but I thought for sake of keeping the design from being too overly complex, I'd go a bit of a Hydreigon route, and have simplified heads coming out from all over the Arbok like hood. And surprisingly, it worked out really well. Each head has its own sort of personality, which I guess would be different variations on the personality of I want to bite you and poison you, but they're all kind of cute in their own way. I settled on making their main face similar to Arbok's, but feel even more fierce, with stronger angles and an intense gaze. And speaking of intense gaze, I made the hood face pattern glow and it kind of looks amazing. Now the name I'm sure you're very interested in. What did I choose? And I ended up choosing Nyanrel, as I didn't want to make it Artie, as it just makes it sound like a guy called Artie. But it's a reference to the Lernian Hydra, who I'm sure many would know by Lernie from Hades. So yeah, it's a sick Arbok Hydra evolution. Nyanrel, the Venom Pokemon, a Poison and Dragon type. It evolves from Arbok after learning Dragon Cheer. Each of Nyanrel's heads, while smaller, are just as smart and venomous as the main head. If even one bites you, it may just spell your end. By rattling the head on their tail, Nianrel creates a hypnotic sound that entrances people and Pokemon alike. If you hear the sound, it may just be too late for you. Nianrel have the abilities Intimidate and Shed Skin. I love Clobberpuss. Grapploct is okay, but what if there was a split Evo after learning a move it can actually already learn, and that of Dive? Grapploct is already a move-based Evo after it learns Taunt, and I feel like it works with the big change in colors and mood. So when I went to make a dive-based Evo, I thought it'd be cool if we got ourselves an underwater fighting octopus. Based on deep-sea octopi and fishing nets, Octobomb plays off a little bit like a funny Mario enemy in a way, and its head pinches to a point where its eyes look like goggles, and I thought it was just a fun and cute little design idea. I thought making it a bit more like a regular octopus instead of the almost human-shaped wrestler Grapploct is helped make the split Evo design more interesting, letting the player have more of a choice on where they'd want to go. This big guy just sinks to the ocean floor with their massive tentacles outstretched and scoop up massive hauls of seafood snacking. That's how he got so big. It's both weird and cute, and that's some of the best designs in Pokemon if I'm being honest. Octobomb, the caster Pokemon, a fighting and water type, evolves from Clobberpuss after learning Dive. Octobomb are specialized for deep water hunting. Their tentacles have a thin yet strong membrane that when they jump down onto Pokemon, it creates a large net-like structure. When Octobomb need to make quick escapes, they'll fill a special organ in their head and two larger tentacles with air, causing them to swiftly rise through the water, sometimes tricking the foe by dropping back down. Octobomb have the abilities Limber and Arena Trap. Our final of the video is Golurk, and another exclusive move from Aegislash, and that's King's Shield. I know, a weird decision, but bear with me here. I based this entire design off a Final Fantasy summon in a living castle that is Alexander. It's such a cool design idea with parts of it made to look like a castle town on top and just the big old parapet arms, and I thought because this feels very regal, Golurk would make a great Pokemon for it with King's Shield as a move. But as I went along with the design, one thing kept nagging at me, in that it could also work as a Golurk evolution too. Although I do think it strays a bit far away from Golurk's kind of natural through line, and that it has no real legs to speak of here, so it'd be a bit strange, and even just for a Pokemon, this feels very epic and legendary feeling. But heck, I love the Golurk line so much for how cool and out there it is already, so let them live, damn it. I had a lot of troubles with perspective and making it all fit together in a proper way, so in the end I was just pretty proud of how it turned out. So here's your new Pokemon Fantasy Summon Golurk. Golurk, the Bastion Pokemon, a Ground and Steel type, evolves from Golurk after learning King's Shield at level 43. In ancient times, it is said that a great bastion spanning an entire continent was besieged and destroyed. The pieces that fell eventually became Golurk. Although Golurk is slow, they are exceptionally heavy and use their large arms to demolish anything standing in its way. Even now, Golurk stands as a symbol of strength and protection against evil. Golurk have the ability Sturdy and Iron Fist. I think these guys are a big success, and some of my more inspired pieces. God, that was kind of lame to say. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, I appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and share it around and comment down below your thoughts, and even consider becoming a member of the channel. Now watch as I U-turn out of here. Thanks so much for watching!
Oh, meat poop.